Morning, welcome to the channel. We're in the beautiful village of Kettlewell this morning, -5. As you can see, I'm wrapped up nice and warm to do an incredible 12-mile walk, my favourite way, up Buckden Pike. So I'll show you the route. Get yourself a cuppa and have a look at that, and I'll bring you back when I'm on the steep ascent out of Kettlewell. I've got my spikes with me, hot flask, plenty of warm clothes, gloves somewhere, but the weather is incredible and it's going to shape up to be a fantastic route. Well, I'll bring you back when I start going up the steep bit. From Kettlewell, followed the walled track all the way up onto the tops of the moor towards Tormere Top, and then follow the path all the way along past the memorial to Buckden Pike before dropping down then into the village of Buckden, where you then take the path that follows the River Wharf from 4 miles from Buckden all the way back to the lovely village of Kettlewell to complete today's walk. So we've just come out of Kettlewell on the road towards Leyburn, but turn left and go up this track and head up onto the top. And if you go this way up to Buckden Pike, it can be quite boggy on the approach. However, with it being -6 or even colder at the top, I think all the bogs will be frozen solid. So probably the best time of year to come. And look at that view already down into Wharfedale, Buckden, Kettlewell even, and up towards Starbottom and Buckden. Warm enough as it is without having to go up and down all the time. Such is the job of a YouTuber, eh? Gate or style? Sod it, I'm going gate. So already 28 minutes in, just done over a mile out of the steep ascent out of Kettlewell, which to be fair gets a lot of the ascent done for the day, and already I've had to lose the buff because I was too warm. I really could take this coat off, but I think I'd freeze, so I'll keep it on for now. I think when I get onto the top it's going to be a bit windy, so it could mean that wind chill is up to -9, -10, something like that. Anyway, I shall bring you back when I'm a bit further on. So looking down towards Kettlewell there, which is just hidden behind under the hill, and then down into the Wharf Valley, and the furthest peak you can see in the distance is Simon's Seat that I did last year, and I've got a video on it which I'll put a link to it in the description. And yeah, what an incredible day for it. Wonder how many people I'll see today. None so far, but there's already been a mountain biker down. Style this time, I think. And as I've just come through this gate, as we head on to the top, the wind has really got up. So it's probably about -9, -10 with the wind chill, maybe even lower perhaps. Kind of not a day to be falling and hurting yourself. I've got the spikes, I've got bivvy bags, survival blankets, flask, extra coats, clothes, so I should be alright. But yeah, not a day to be messing about, especially as there is nobody about here. Hello, don't mind me. So as you come past that track, up the track even, I'll start again. So as you get towards the end of that track, which is about 2.5 miles from Kettlewell, you get to this little crossroads where you can see the marker behind me. When you get to it, go left and then immediately right, just up there, takes you to a little stile, which means that you can avoid the path going all the way along that way to cut back. So it's a bit of a shortcut, short ascent, but kind of gets you up nearer the top. And it is chilly, but what a brilliant day. Right, on we go. So this feels like it's going to be a walk of two halves today. The first half we've got Buckden Pike at 702 metres, and afterwards we drop down then into Buckden and all the way along the valley bottom. So the first half is going to be quite cold on the tops and wintry, and the second half will hopefully be a bit nicer. When I say a bit nicer, I mean a little bit less windy, but it's lovely. The best thing about this walk is coming and doing it in winter. The ground is frozen solid, which means that all the bogs just up behind us as we head up towards Buckden Pike are all going to be frozen. So instead of sinking up to your knees, you'll be able to walk right over the top of them. But what a day though. And I shall show you the view when we get to the top, because from the top of Buckden Pike it is amazing, trust me. Normally you'd sink up to your knees in this stuff. Thankfully today it is frozen solid. We're about to come up to the memorial dedicated to the 6 Polish airmen who died on the 31st of January 1942. So there's a small monument here to commemorate them and everything they did in the war. And oh my word, walkers. The first people I've seen all day. So just behind me is Buckden Pike at 702 metres. Right in front is Great Whernside at 704 metres. And as I spin you around, we have Fountains Fell, followed by Penigent and Plover Hill. In the back, Ingleborough. Further to the right, with the dusting of snow on, I don't know if you can make it out, is Whernside. And then at the back, just behind that wall, is the whole of the Lake District Fells, which I shall show you when we get over the wall and you can see it a bit clearer. As you spin further around though, and you can't quite make it out today, but that's the northern edge, right in the distance under the cloud, of the North Yorkshire moors. And just to the left, you can't see it today, but on a good day you can see it is Middlesbrough. And I've actually seen 3 people so far on the top of here. Not surprised though, it's absolutely stunning. Probably the best view in the Dales, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Right behind that cairn, right in the distance, is the Lakeland Fells. Right, time to sit down, admire the view and have a coffee. Cheers. Let me spin you around so you can see what I can see. Right, after a couple of cups of coffee, I'm off. Head down towards Cow Close, round towards Buckden, and then down at the River Wharf back to Kettlewell. So, as always, leave no trace. Let's see if we can get out of this wind. This is incredible. Apart from the sound of my feet, the odd plane, and me wittering on obviously, there is not a single sound. It is so quiet. See what I mean? Amazing. And although this path is steep in parts, the snow is freshly laid, not very deep, it's quite grippy, so I've not had to put my spikes on. Save that for another day. I think if I'd have been doing this a couple of days later after this snow might have softened and then frozen again, I probably would have needed the spikes on. I've not needed them today. And I might have said this about 15 times already, but what a day! You'll be pleased to know, after the Edale skyline, where I didn't eat anything for 20 miles, I had a butty before we set off. I've had a couple of cups of coffee. I've got some sandwiches in my bag which I will eat when we get down to Buckden. And hopefully then I can even get the drone out. It was a bit too windy and cold on the top of Buckden Pike for the drone. Hopefully I'll be able to show you a bit of the upper Wharfedale valley from the air, because it is incredibly beautiful around here. Hopefully, if you can make it out on the camera, there's like a little white path just above the tree line on the opposite side of the valley. That's another walk that I did for YouTube, which went from Buckden up to Yorkshire and across to Cray. Check that one out. That's a fantastic walk. Hopefully you'll like the video too. You know, the colours and the light today is just amazing. Hardly a cloud in the sky as we look down towards Home in Upper Wharfedale. And it feels like a walk of two halves already. Dropping down, we're out of the wind now. And even though there's snow on the ground, it doesn't feel cold. The sun is out, the wind has dropped. And it's delightful. I think though, when we get down into Buckden and walk along the River Wharf, the side of the valley we'll be walking along will be in the shade, so that might be a bit cooler. Sorry for not looking at the camera, suddenly it's got icy. Oh my word. Oh, it's past the ice, I can relax a bit now, he says optimistically. Right, Julian, try not to break your neck on this bit of grass. Try not to break your neck on this bit of ice. Jesus, can't even speak. It's up with me today. That were easy. Should be a stuntman, shouldn't I? So I'm just coming into Buckden now. I'm getting kind of warm. I need to take my coat off or change this hat if nothing else. And to my 118 subscribers, thank you so much for all your support and comments and likes, which basically means if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, put something in the comments. What do you think of Buckden Pike? Do you prefer it in winter or summer? And yeah, if you don't already, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps me basically, means I can do more of this. And yeah, onwards to Kettlewell. In this week's episode of Standoff with Some Cattle, we have the belted Galloways, which is quite easily spooked, as you can see. Maybe these two might be more formidable, or that's what I think too. Hiker 2, belted Galloways 0. Hello. Hello. You're a belter, aren't you? Welcome to Buckden. I'm going to stop at this bench, change batteries in the camera, maybe have a cup of coffee, and then we're going to head right towards Home, and then once we go over the bridge in another couple of 100 metres, turn left down the Dales way to Kettlewell. Oh, it's a shame the shop's shut at the moment. Right, time for coffee. It feels so nice to take my hat off. It gets so warm then. But yeah, coffee's nice. And look, Mum, I'm eating. Put a couple of stars on my reward chart for me. Rock hard, this. Nice and cold. Right, and left. Follow the River Wharf 4 miles back to Kettlewell. whole of the river's iced over here. Wow. Wasn't like that yesterday. Looks amazing. So today's hike cap off about 55-56 miles for the week so far, and the reason for that is I signed myself up for the virtual spine race, so I've got to do 268 miles of walking, running or hiking from the 1st to the 31st of January. So that works out at 8.6 something miles a day, which is a great excuse to get my fat lazy ass out and back into the hills doing some walking. And what a day it's been so far. Not sure what I'm going to do for my 8 point something miles tomorrow. No doubt, I don't think it's going to be as interesting as this. It's a good way to start the year off. Good antidote to all those mince pies and beers that I had at Christmas. And Happy New Year to you. Hope 2026 brings you anything and everything you need, even if that's just getting through the year. And across the river is a village of Starbottom. So I'll stop here by the bridge, get the drone out, see if we can see the sun if we get a bit higher. And then it is literally 2 miles back to the beautiful village of Kettlewell. Bit more gate porny. I don't mind telling you, it's a bit cold when that sun goes in. Mind you, it is about -5, I suppose. The river Wharf is frozen over. I think I've still got a nose. Yeah, still there. And about a mile or so back to Kettlewell and a nice warm van. Oh, well, cold van until I warm it up. The river is completely frozen over here in this section. Wow, that's pretty. Well, I'm about 5 minutes walk out of Kettlewell, so it won't take me 2 minutes to get there. Hang on a minute, 5 minute walk, but it won't take me 2 minutes to get there. That doesn't sound right, does it? I'm 5 minutes out of Kettlewell, and it's going to take me 5 minutes to get there. So I think I'll wrap up the video here. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed doing it. It's been an incredible walk, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra.